Jeff Skinner was pumped to be back on the ice again. Are you thinking he might be a chance for Saturday? Are you thinking more towards California?
You know, there's a couple guys that were back on the ice today. A couple guys that one that wasn't, one that was that we were going to give a maintenance day to. But it's that time of the year with lots of different guys. So the decisions will be made in the morning on the lineup because we have, 3 or 4 guys that are right on that cusp. The positive is, I guess, the one guy that I feel very comfortable with going through is Samuelsson was pushed it hard today, which was nice to see. So now it'll be, I think it's more of a decision now. Does he get enough in to get ready to go? But and good news on Skinner. Still need to know more tomorrow morning. So yeah, we're going the right direction, and we're going in the direction fast now. So it's good.
What's the worry with Henry? I know soreness was said, but
Soreness, and he was one guy I was going to give him the day just to maintenance. Simple shot block, so something that'll resolve. And actually, he had a really good day, so that was nice.
Heading toward his fourth 30-goal season with the Sabres, and he kind of flies under the radar a bit. What's allowed him, in his late 20s, early 30s, to find a new level and find that consistency that he has maybe with the last 3-4 years?
I've seen him adapt his game. He is, he was. I can remember when I got here, he was not under the radar. Obviously, he just signed a big deal, and it was goals, and everything was measured on goals and not goals. And I think he's done a nice job to, as he's aged, players age, you've got to evolve your game. Things that you were great at 23, 24, even from an athleticism standpoint, you don't have that same athleticism when you approach 30 and beyond. So you're evolving your game as your body evolves. Well, and he's evolved his game. He always has been an intelligent player, but now I think he's self-taught more playmaking, more situational awareness and reads, and so he's dangerous in many more ways. I've seen him in the last 3 years now than just the normal way you'd think of Jeff Skinner scoring a goal, the guy scoring the goal. He's disruptive. He makes plays up and down the rink at another level than maybe he did prior or earlier in his career, and he certainly is that way around the net.
When it comes to Jacob Bryson, do you feel? I just had a chance to chat with him. He's looking. You can't do anything other than go down and work on your game and do make the best of it type of a thing. And he's always had a positive attitude since I've known him. Has he handled this year the right way, do you feel, with everything that he's gone through?
Definitely. Yeah, he has. And, last year, as a very young guy and not a lot of experience in the NHL, it was a challenging year. It was just, you come in and things don't go well and you don't have any time to breathe. It's just game after game after game, and things, positive or negative can compound. You're either in a rhythm or you can't get in a rhythm because things are happening so fast. And I think he was challenged with that last year, but gained the experience of it, the hindsight of it going into the off season. And we have a much more mature player based on the experience gained. Unfortunately, negative, and that's how life is. We lots of times in life we learn more from a negative experience than a positive one, unfortunately. And Bryce was challenged quite a bit last year. He looked within himself to resolve it and become better because of it. And I think we have a much better player. We've obviously added some guys to our team over the summertime. Eric Johnson being a real key for us in the penalty kill, and Clifton giving us some grit, and Bryce kind of got squeezed out a little bit there. So, he's played the games in Rochester because he needed games. But he in my mind, he's a better player than he was a year ago.
What have you seen from Matthias as he's navigated the ups and downs of the season? And what can he take from, speaking to him, he hasn't been happy with the consistency, although he feels like he's managed it.
With Matthias, he's hard on himself. He's competitive, and it's where we think we can get him, he hasn't gone, and so sometimes that's hard. We push him as coaches. We feel there's so much more potential than him His actual right now is good. His potential is way exceeds where he is. So here we are pushing him, but he's not gone into that territory yet. It's an unknown, so he's not sure. He doesn't have confidence. So even though you're pushing him, he's been so successful in a comfort zone, being just a kind of a defensive defender. And we want more out of him. We want more grit, more use of size, more. He has some ability to move pucks and join a transition, just in simple forms. And all that means pressure. We're putting lots of pressure on him because we need him. We're young as a team, and we need growth. And growth is not always comfortable.
For guys that have been in positions like with Bryson, where he was here for a lot of the season, didn't get in a lot of games. When they go down and they come back, what's the thing you want to see most from them that they've learned and been able to put together in that time?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything you learn down there at this point. Not to say you can't learn stuff, but that's not the emphasis of going down there. It's to get in a rhythm and get games and feel good about your game and pace and dealing with chaos that you might not see in pressure that you might not see in practice or physicality. So, I think for someone like Bryson and anybody going down there, it's just to stay in a rhythm. And obviously you get, like we saw with Devin Levi, you're in a little bit of a rut. It's a resource that we have in our organization. Okay, go breathe for a segment, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, 2 days, whatever it is, but get out of the fire that's the NHL, that you don't have any time to take a break once the NHL season starts. That's a resource that you can take a break from the NHL, and we've seen how important that is for so many players, old or young. But in Bryson's case, he cleared waivers. We were able to do that. And I don't think it was as much a reset for Bryce as it's getting a rhythm.
How tough is that for guys to get over, going from basically 0 to 100 like that, and just a flip of a switch where it's, you're not doing a lot and then you're going right back into it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a shock, in a grind because, and you're taking hits, you're blocking shots. The next morning you wake up, it's way different than practice, way different. You can practice all you want, but when you're in games, you are sore the next day. And if you're not sore, you're drained, you're fatigued. So there is so much urgency to recovering. Your body needs to recover because it's been beaten up. You don't get that in practice. Primarily in the NHL too, because your guys, we practice today, but how many guys can go in a corner battle? They just played last night. They're in the process of recovering because they play tomorrow. So if you're that extra guy, you're not getting that combative, work in a practice because the guys can't do that. They're trying to recover from last night's game and prepare for tomorrow's game, which is most of your practices in the NHL are that. There's not many days in the NHL where it's actually a dedicated practice to getting better. It's usually a recovery or a quick rhythm prep for the next day, being a game.
Given where Devin's at in his development, his age, in the way that Ukko is playing, how do you, Kevin, even the development staff, Mike, really just gauge, is this the best situation for Devin to, gain practice reps? But right now, Ukko's been your starter in games. Is there any thought?
So what is the question again?
Is there any concern about Devin not getting game experience? Just given where he's at in his development.
We talk about it every day, obviously, and measure that. We look at Devin, and you guys know it and we've looked at Upi, and he still is. They're in a developmental window, and so every day you're gauging, okay, what's the best for the development, and obviously the best for our team, because we're in a win now situation, which is a good place to be. We're no longer in the development situation. We're in a win. So we talk about it every single day, and at any day there could be a decision, either way, what the next move is, in respect. So.
When Jeff's not around the team as much when he's hurt, when he's not on the bench or whatever, what do you lose personality-wise? Because obviously he's, you see him, he's always smirking and he's making guys laugh and all that.
I can tell you the last couple games you're playing, teams that have had challenging seasons in San Jose and Chicago, and they're dangerous teams because they work hard. And we had a snow game where there's not a building full of people, obviously probably because of weather and whatnot, and you miss, I can tell you as a head coach, you miss what Skinner brings. He brings a competitiveness, a fire, a burn to be successful under any circumstance or situation. The building could be completely dead, but this guy just wants to play. He wants the puck, and he wants to make a play, and he wants to score a goal. He wants to be a difference maker, and that's a driver. That's a culture driver. That's what it is. He helps create the urgency of the moment. He brings guys into this matters now, and that's why he's so accomplished in his career, because every moment matters, and that's what you miss when you don't have him. Some guys, it's like, okay, we play tomorrow, or we play 10 more games, or they're not in the moment with enough urgency. And Jeff never has that problem. He can snap into that immediately.
Talking to Greener just after a few games up the middle, obviously there have been guys spending lots of times doing face-offs, and he just hasn't had that time to work on it. Is that something you are looking for him to improve on, or are you happy with what else he brings in that position?
Well, he brings a lot in that position, but that is absolutely an area that we want to see improvement. And part of it is him getting back to it, reps, and how to use what his skill set is, his size, his leverage, strength, in certain situations, and familiarity with how other guys are taking pucks, linesmen are dropping pucks. There's so much different strategy that would go into that, and it takes time. I've had and will not opposed to even shifting Middlestead to a wing on that line, a post, so I've had there, so he can take some draws for that reason and others. So there's things that we can do, but I think that it's in our best interest that we have him at least develop the ability to play center for us. It gives us way more versatility, where we can shift from a third line scoring line to a third line checking line in a heartbeat, just shifting him. So he's an outstanding acquisition for us, and certainly a nice player to have. Thank you.